Right, team, welcome back to Caravan Carpers and another Tackle Tuesdays. Are you here because you're sick to death of filling your spod reels and there not being enough line, or you're overfilling it? But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take you through my system of exactly how I work out exactly how much backing line I need before adding my spod braid. If you're new to Caravan Carpers, what we do here is we do honest reviews called Tackle Tuesdays. One thing that's a little bit different about ourselves is the money that we earn through the revenue of YouTube. What we're doing going forward is using that to buy products, to do reviews on, and then give away to the subscribers. So keep watching the video all the way through, and that helps us to be able to review and give away better products. We're hoping by this time next year we're going to be giving things like bibbies away, but you never know. Right, so I'm now going to take you through what you need in order to be able to fill a spod reel. So you're going to need your spod reel. In my case, I've got the Daiwa Super Spod, which I'll be using for this review. I've just got this reel and I'll be filling that with the line. The backing line that I'm going to be using is some old OGX in 035. It's important that you really use 035. It makes things much easier to work out in the long run, but different size backing lines you can be used in this system that I'll teach you. So the next thing you're going to need is your dedicated spod braid or marker braid, depending on what you're spooling up for. In this case, I've been using a Fox X set for quite some time now and find it very good. And then finally, what you're also going to need is a leader. In my case, this leader isn't really a leader. It's actually a style of spod braid. However, I've been using this for quite some time, never had any crack offs and really like it. Right then, so I'm now going to take you through exactly how I work out the calculations for how much spod braid I need to add to my reel and how much backing line. So the way we do that is we work out the spool capacity. But quickly, before you're doing this, what I recommend you do is you put your spod braid in a bucket of lukewarm water for about 20 minutes and allow it to soak. I'm not quite sure whether you really need to soak braid, however, it's something I've always done. So my Daiwa Super Spod, as you look on the box or on the spool and stuff like that, it'll always tell you the capacity that the spool holds. And in my case, the specification is 300 meters of 0.35. And that's why I use 0.35 backing line, just to make it a little bit easier. So if you now need to work out the spool capacity, and the spool capacity is 300 times 0.35. And that gives you a total capacity of 105. So this is our capacity number. The next thing you need to work out is how much of your spod braid, what you've got in your spool, will fill of that spool. So in our case, it is 300 meters of 0.18 line, our spod braid. So if you do 300 times 0.18, that gives 54. So we now need to take away the amount of spod braid from the total capacity. So that is 105 minus 54. That leaves you with 51. So 51 is the amount of backing line that we now need to add to the actual spool itself. And we now need to convert that back into how many meters of 0.35 line. So what you then do is 51 divided by 0.35, which rounded up equals 146 meters. So we now know that we need 146 meters of backing line in order to fill it properly to capacity. So what we now need to do, and an easy way of being able to add that line to your spod reel, is to reel it on. So we now do this by working out our retrieval rate. Well, you find the retrieval rate out offline for your reel. In the case of my reel, the Super Spod, it's 118 centimeters. So that means every turn of the reel, 1.18 meters of line will go on that reel. So we can now work out roughly how many turns of backing line we need to add first before then filling up with the full spool of spod braid. So in this case, we'll now do 146 divided by 1.18, which turns out to be 124 turns of your backing line. And once you've done that, you can then do a back-to-back grinner knot, adding onto your spod braid, filling up the spool with your spod braid. And then the final step of the process is to add a leader. And I do this again with another back-to-back grinner knot. What I like to do is have around 10 to 12 turns of the leader on the spool. I'll then drop it down back to the spigot and do a double overhand loop knot, quite a big one, which allows you to add and remove your either your lead for markering up or your spod quickly and easy. Now I've done this and I've spooled up my reel, What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Daiwa's claims to the test in the next video. And we're going to be taking the Daiwa Super Spod out, and I'm going to be testing it against my old Emblem Spod rod. So if it's something you'd be interested in, and we'll see if the new Spod reel makes any difference to my casting, I'll be taking it out onto a field with a measuring stick, and I'll be measuring the exact distances. If it's something you're interested in, thanks for watching, but like and subscribe and share this video so that we can get more subscribers, do more giveaways, and join us as we grow on our journey. Thanks for watching. Caravan Carpers out.